Somewhere tonight, there is a man sitting in the dark, staring at a ceiling he has memorized because sleep will not come. Somewhere tonight, there is a woman holding a phone, waiting for a call that never rings, wondering if she has been forgotten. Somewhere tonight, there is a young person looking at a bank account with more month left than money, wondering how they are going to make it. And somewhere tonight, there is someone just like you, carrying a weight so heavy that you have stopped telling people about it because you are tired of hearing it will be okay from people who have no power to make it okay. I want to tell you something today, and I want you to listen closely because this is not going to be another empty pep talk. This is not going to be 5 minutes of nice words that evaporate the moment life gets hard again. I am going to tell you the truth, and the truth is this: your problem is big. Nobody is going to insult you by pretending it is small. Your problem is big, but it is not bigger than God. Your storm is real, but it is not stronger than the one who spoke the wind and the waves into existence. Your enemy is fierce, but greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Stop for one moment and breathe. I know you have been carrying this for weeks, maybe months, maybe years. I know you wake up with it and you go to sleep with it, if sleep comes at all. I know you have run every scenario in your mind 1,000 times, trying to find the exit, trying to find the answer, trying to control what you were never designed to control. And I am here to tell you, you were never meant to carry this alone. You were never meant to fight this battle with your own strength. There is a power greater than you, greater than your circumstances, greater than the diagnosis, greater than the debt, greater than the broken relationship, greater than the fear that grips your chest at 3 in the morning. And that power has not forgotten you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly rested? Not slept, rested. When was the last time your mind was quiet, your shoulders were down, your jaw was unclenched, and you actually believed deep in your bones that everything was going to be all right? If you cannot remember, I understand, because worry has a way of becoming so familiar that we forget what peace even feels like. We carry it like a backpack full of stones, and we get so used to the weight that we think it is just a normal part of being alive. But hear me, that is not the life you were made for. You were not created to live under a cloud of dread every single day. You were created for peace that passes understanding, for joy that does not depend on your bank statement, for hope that does not flicker every time the news gets worse. Worry says, I have to figure this out myself. Worry says, if I just think about it enough, plan for every outcome, control every variable, then maybe I can protect myself from the pain. But worry is a liar. Worry has never solved a single problem. Worry has never paid a single bill, healed a single body, mended a single relationship, or opened a single door. All worry does is steal today's strength to fight tomorrow's battle, a battle that more often than not never even comes. Someone once said that worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it gets you nowhere. You can rock all day, all night, all week, all year, and when you finally stand up, you are in the exact same place you started, except now you are exhausted, and your body is worn out from a war that existed only in your mind. But here is the good news, and I need you to receive this, not just hear it. There is a power greater than your problem. There is a power that spoke into formless darkness and said, "Let there be light," and light obeyed. There is a power that took dry bones in a valley and made them stand up as a living army. There is a power that took 5 loaves and 2 fish and fed a multitude with baskets left over. There is a power that walked on water in the middle of a storm, looked at fear in the eyes of grown men, and said, "Peace, be still." And that same power is not distant from you today. That same power is not too busy running the universe to notice your tears. That same power knows your name, knows your address, knows the number of hairs on your head, and knows exactly what you are walking through right now. You may feel forgotten, but you are not forgotten. You may feel invisible, but you are not invisible. You may feel like your prayers are hitting the ceiling and bouncing back, but I promise you, every tear you have cried in secret has been counted. Every sigh you have let out in silence has been heard. Every sleepless night you have endured has not gone unnoticed. The same hands that flung stars into space are the same hands that are big enough to hold your broken heart. The same voice that calmed the sea is the same voice that can calm the storm raging inside your chest right now. Let me talk to you about fear for a moment, because fear is the language worry speaks fluently. Fear tells you that the worst is coming. Fear tells you that you are alone. Fear tells you that this time there is no way out. Fear paints the darkest picture it can find and hands it to you as if it were prophecy. But fear is not a prophet. Fear is not the voice of truth. Fear is the opposite of faith. And faith says, even if I do not see the way, I know the one who does. Faith says, even if this mountain does not move today, I will not stop believing it can move. Faith says, I do not have to understand everything to trust the one who understands everything. You were not given a spirit of fear. You were given a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. Read that again. Power, not weakness. Love, not rejection. A sound mind, not the chaos that keeps you up at night rehearsing worst-case scenarios. That means the anxiety trying to choke the life out of you right now is not who you are. That is not your identity. That is an intruder, and it is time to tell that intruder it no longer has authority over your life. I want you to think about every impossible situation you have already survived. Think about the moment you thought you could not go on, and yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still reading these words. You have already survived 100% of your worst days. Every single one. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is not just your own willpower, though I know you are strong. I know you have fought hard. But there was a hand on you that you may not have even recognized at the time, carrying you when your legs gave out, holding you together when you felt like you were falling apart at the seams. If he carried you through every storm before this one, why would he abandon you now? Why would he bring you this far only to leave you stranded in the middle of the sea? Somebody needs to hear this. This is not the end of your story. What you are walking through right now is not a period, it is a comma. It is a pause, not a conclusion. The chapter you are in feels unbearable, I know. It feels like it will never end, like the pain is permanent, like the darkness is the final word. But darkness is never the final word for those who put their trust in the light. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Your morning is coming. I do not know the exact hour, I do not know the exact day, but I know this. What feels like the end of you is actually the setup for your comeback. Think about every seed that has ever been planted in the ground. Before it becomes a harvest, it has to go through a season where it looks like nothing is happening. It sits underground in the dark, in the cold, in the dirt, and from the outside it looks dead. It looks like failure. It looks like it is never going to amount to anything, but underneath the surface, roots are forming, strength is being built, life is stirring, even when you cannot see it. That is exactly where you are right now. What feels like a grave might actually be a seed. What feels like the end might actually be the beginning of the greatest harvest of your life. I know some of you are thinking, you do not know what I am facing. You do not know how deep this goes. You do not know how many nights I have cried myself to sleep. You do not know how many doors have closed in my face. You do not know how many times I have prayed and felt like heaven was silent. You are right, I do not know the specifics of your battle. But I know this, there is nothing you are facing today that is too big, too complicated, too broken, or too far gone for the same power that raised the dead, that turned water into wine, that opened blind eyes, that healed the sick, that calmed storms with a single word. Nothing is too hard. Nothing is impossible. Your situation may be impossible for you, but it is not impossible for him. I want you to stop for a second and think about what you have been carrying that was never yours to carry in the first place. So many of us walk around trying to be our own God, trying to control outcomes, trying to fix people who do not want to be fixed, trying to predict a future that has not even been written yet. And it is exhausting because we were never built to carry that weight. We were built to trust, to surrender, to release the things we cannot control into hands that are far more capable than ours. That does not mean you do nothing. That does not mean you stop working, stop trying, stop showing up. It means you do your part with excellence, and then you release the results, because the results were never yours to control anyway. Cast your anxiety, all of it, every bit of it, onto Him, because He cares for you, not because He needs something from you, not because you have earned it, but because He cares. Sit with that word for a second. Cares, not tolerates, not ignores, cares. The God of the universe, the one who holds galaxies in place, cares about the argument you had this morning, the diagnosis you are waiting on, the job you lost, the marriage that is hanging by a thread, the child who has walked away, the dream that feels like it is dying. He cares. And because He cares, you do not have to carry it by yourself anymore. I want to talk to the person who feels like they have prayed and nothing has changed. I want to talk to the person who feels like they have done everything right and life still fell apart anyway. I know that pain. I know the confusion of doing what you were supposed to do and still watching things crumble. But let me remind you, silence is not the same as absence. Just because you cannot see the movement does not mean nothing is moving. Some of the greatest turnarounds in history happened right after the darkest moment, right when everyone thought it was over. The story was not over. It just felt like it was. There is a difference between your timing and the right timing. We live in a world of instant everything, instant messages, instant food, instant answers, and so we expect our breakthroughs to be instant too. But some things are not built overnight. Some healing takes time. Some restoration takes time. Some doors do not open until you have walked through the hallway of preparation first. Do not mistake delay for denial. Do not mistake a season for a sentence. What feels like forever right now is not forever. It only feels that way because you are in the middle of it, and the middle is always the hardest part of any story. I want you to think about who you are becoming through this. Pain, when it is not wasted, becomes purpose. Struggle, when it is not wasted, becomes strength. Every person who has ever done something remarkable with their life walked through a valley first. Nobody skips the valley and goes straight to the mountaintop. The valley is not punishment. The valley is preparation. What you are walking through right now is shaping you into someone who will be able to help other people walk through the very thing you are walking through today. Your mess is being turned into your message. Your test is being turned into your testimony. One day, and I believe this with everything in me, one day you are going to look back at this exact season and you are going to see the fingerprints of a power that was working behind the scenes the entire time, even when you could not feel it, even when you could not see it, even when you thought you were completely alone. Let go of the need to understand everything right now. You do not have to have all the answers today. You do not have to know how the story ends to trust the one who is writing it. Faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is trusting even when the questions remain unanswered. It is saying, I do not understand this, but I trust the one who does. That is not weakness. That is the strongest thing a human being can do, to stand in the middle of uncertainty and still choose to trust. I want to say something directly to the fear that is sitting on your chest right now, keeping you up at night, whispering that things are only going to get worse. Fear, you are not welcome here anymore. Fear, you have had your say for long enough. Fear, you do not get to write the ending to this story. You have had your turn. Now it is time for peace to take the wheel. Peace that does not depend on the circumstances changing. Peace that settles into your spirit even while the storm is still raging outside. Peace that says, I do not know how this is going to work out, but I know it is going to work out because I am not fighting this battle alone. If you are exhausted today, rest. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to solve everything before you close your eyes tonight. Lay it down. Every worry, every what if, every scenario you keep replaying, lay it down. It was never yours to carry alone in the first place. There is someone far more capable than you, far stronger than you, far wiser than you, who is already working on your behalf, even in this very moment, even as you read these words. You do not have to earn His help. You do not have to be perfect to receive His peace. You just have to come as you are, tired, broken, scared, uncertain, and hand it over. I know some of you have been strong for everyone else for so long that you forgot it is okay to be tired too. You have been the one holding your family together. You have been the one everyone calls when they need something. You have been the strong one, the dependable one, the one who never falls apart, but who is holding you. Let me remind you today, you do not have to be strong every single second. There is a power that specializes in strength made perfect in weakness. That means your weakest moment is not a disqualification, it is an invitation for a greater power to step in and do what you could never do on your own. Look at your life right now, honestly, and I want you to see it differently. That closed door was not the end of your story, it was redirection. That relationship that fell apart was not a punishment, it was protection from a future that was never meant for you. That delay you are so frustrated about was not neglect. It was preparation for something you are not ready for yet, but you will be. Every single thing you are walking through has purpose, even the parts that feel senseless right now. Nothing is wasted. Not your tears, not your sleepless nights, not your unanswered questions. All of it is being woven into something greater than you can currently see. So here is what I want you to do. Right now, wherever you are, whatever you are carrying, I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to loosen your shoulders. I want you to unclench your jaw. And I want you to say, out loud if you can, I am not going to carry this alone anymore. Say it like you mean it. Say it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your peace depends on it. Your health depends on it. Your joy depends on it. Stop trying to be your own rescuer. Stop trying to be your own God. Release it. Let it go. Trust that there is a power far greater than your problem, and that power is not sleeping, is not distracted, is not too busy. That power is right here, right now, ready to meet you exactly where you are. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. You are not disqualified because of your past, your mistakes, your failures, your doubts. Today can be the day everything shifts, not because your circumstances instantly change, but because your posture changes. You stop carrying the weight of the world on shoulders that were never meant to hold it, and you start walking in the freedom of knowing that someone far greater than you has this handled. I do not know what you are walking through today, but I know this. It is not bigger than the power that spoke the universe into existence. It is not bigger than the love that never lets go. It is not bigger than the hope that refuses to die. Stop worrying. Not because your problem is small, but because your God is big. Stand up, wipe your tears, lift your head. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Your morning is coming. Hold on just a little longer, because the same power that has carried you this far is not going to let go of you now. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. And you are not alone. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Let me take you a little deeper, because I do not want to leave you with just words. I want to leave you with something that changes the way you walk out of this moment. I want you to think about the last time you tried to fix something that was never in your hands to fix. Maybe it was a person. Maybe it was a diagnosis. Maybe it was a financial hole that kept getting deeper no matter how hard you worked. And I want you to remember how it felt to lie awake, running numbers, running scenarios, running conversations in your head that never even happened. And at the end of all of that mental exhaustion, nothing changed. The bill was still due. The person still walked away. The test results were still the same. That is the trap of worry. It convinces you that if you just think hard enough, long enough, painfully enough, you can control an outcome that was never yours to control in the first place. And the cruelest part is, worry does not even deliver on its promise. It never gives you control. It only steals your peace and gives you nothing in return. So today, I want you to make a decision, not just a feeling, a decision, that you are done paying that price. You are done trading your peace for imaginary control. You are done losing sleep over things that sleep was never going to fix anyway. You are going to do what is in your hands to do. Show up, work hard, love well, pray earnestly. And then you are going to release the rest into hands that are infinitely more capable than yours. That is not giving up. That is not laziness. That is wisdom. That is maturity. That is the difference between a person who is dragged through life by anxiety and a person who walks through life with quiet confidence, even in the middle of a storm. I think about how many people are silently drowning behind a smile. You go to work, you smile, you say, "I'm fine," when someone asks how you are doing, and inside you are barely holding it together. I want you to know you do not have to perform for anyone. You do not have to pretend everything is fine when it is not. There is a power that does not need you to perform. There is a power that meets you in your most honest, unfiltered, broken state and says, "I am not intimidated by your mess. I am not put off by your doubt. I am not repelled by your anger, your exhaustion, your questions. Bring all of it to me." You do not have to clean yourself up first. You do not have to have the right words. You do not have to have enough faith, enough patience, enough strength. You just have to come. Think about the storms you have already walked through in your life. Think about the year you thought you would never survive, and yet here you are. Think about the loss that felt like it would break you permanently, and yet somehow you are still standing, still breathing, still moving forward, even if it is one small step at a time. That is not an accident. That is not just resilience you built on your own. There has been a sustaining power carrying you through every single one of those seasons, whether you recognized it in the moment or not. And if that power carried you through what you already survived, it has more than enough strength to carry you through what you are facing right now. I want to address something that a lot of people do not talk about: the shame that comes with struggling. So many of us feel like if we are anxious, if we are afraid, if we are barely holding on, that somehow means we are failing, that we are weak, that we are doing something wrong. But struggle is not evidence of failure. Struggle is evidence that you are human. Even the strongest people you know have had nights where they wept until they had nothing left. Even the most faithful people you know have had moments where they questioned everything. That does not disqualify you. That does not make you less than. It makes you exactly the kind of person this message is for. There is a temptation when life gets hard to isolate, to pull away from people, to stop answering calls, to convince yourself that no one would understand anyway, so why even try to explain it? But isolation is fertile ground for fear. Fear grows best in silence and secrecy. The moment you speak your struggle out loud to a trusted friend, to a family member, to whoever will listen with compassion instead of judgment, something shifts. The weight does not disappear, but it becomes shareable. You were not designed to carry your burdens in isolation. You were designed for community, for connection, for people who will stand in the gap with you when you cannot stand on your own. I also want to speak to the anger some of you are carrying. Anger at how unfair this all feels. Anger that you did everything right and still ended up here. Anger that other people seem to have it easier while you fight for every single inch of progress. That anger is valid. I am not going to tell you to just get over it or plaster on a fake smile. But do not let that anger turn into bitterness, because bitterness will poison every good thing that tries to grow in your life afterward. Feel the anger, acknowledge it, and then hand it over too. Let it be transformed into determination instead of resentment. Let it fuel you forward instead of chaining you to the past. I want you to picture for a moment the day this trial finally ends. I want you to picture waking up and realizing the weight is gone. I want you to picture looking back at this exact season, the one you are in right now, and seeing how far you have come. That day is coming. It might not come as fast as you want. It might not look exactly like you pictured, but it is coming. And when it comes, you will understand things about yourself that you never could have learned any other way. You will understand your own strength. You will understand what you are truly capable of enduring. You will understand what it means to trust something bigger than your own understanding, even in the dark. There is a reason storms do not last forever, because if they did, nothing would ever grow. Rain that falls too long floods the ground and destroys everything in its path, but rain that falls in its season waters the seeds and produces a harvest. Your storm has a purpose, even if you cannot see it right now. It is not there to destroy you. It is there, whether you believe it in this moment or not, to prepare the ground of your life for something greater than what existed before the storm ever started. I know some of you have prayed the same prayer for years. You have asked for the same breakthrough over and over, and it feels like the heavens have gone silent. I want to encourage you, do not stop. Do not let delay convince you that your prayers do not matter. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came after the longest waits. Persistence in the face of silence is not wasted. It is being recorded. It is being remembered. And in the right time, not your time, but the right time, the answer will come. And when it comes, it will make sense of every single day you spent waiting. I want to remind you that faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is choosing to move forward even while fear is still present. You do not have to wait until you feel brave to take the next step. You do not have to wait until the anxiety completely disappears before you keep going. Courage is not fearlessness. Courage is doing the next right thing while your hands are still shaking. So if you are afraid today, that is okay. Take the step anyway. Make the call anyway. Show up anyway. Fear may be in the room with you, but it does not get to sit in the driver's seat. Let me tell you what I believe is happening in your life right now, even if you cannot see it. I believe that behind the scenes, doors are being prepared that you have not even knocked on yet. I believe that people are being positioned to help you in ways you cannot currently imagine. I believe that the very thing that feels like it is breaking you is actually being used to build you into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than you were before. I believe that your setback is quietly being turned into a setup for something greater. None of this happens instantly, and none of this happens without pain, but it is happening. So here is your charge for today. Stop replaying the worst-case scenario on a loop in your mind. Stop giving your energy to outcomes that have not even happened yet and may never happen at all. Stop letting fear write letters to a future that has not been decided. Instead, take a breath, just one, right now. And with that breath, release the grip you have had on trying to control everything. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the tension you have been carrying in your chest finally exhale. You are not weak for struggling. You are not foolish for hoping. You are not naive for still believing that things can get better. Keep hoping. Keep believing. Keep showing up, even on the days it feels pointless, because those small acts of persistence are exactly what carry people through to the other side of impossible situations. The very fact that you are still here, still reading, still fighting for a better tomorrow, tells me that there is a strength inside you that has not been defeated yet, no matter how tired you feel. Today, decide that worry does not get the final say over your life. Decide that fear does not get to write your story. Decide that no matter how big the mountain in front of you looks, you are going to keep walking toward it, one step at a time, trusting that the power that made the mountain is bigger than the mountain itself. Your situation may not change today, it may not change tomorrow, but something inside you can change right now, the way you carry it, the way you face it, the way you refuse to let it define you. You are stronger than you know, you are more loved than you feel, and you are far closer to your breakthrough than you think. Hold on, keep going. The morning is coming, and when it arrives, you will look back and understand that every hard night was leading you somewhere good. You are seen, you are known, you are loved, and you are not alone. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.